nerves are doing.
Exactly.
So you might as well.
And I think like one classic example that he brings up when he talks about these things is, I mean, even if you're like intoxicated, you can always walk, and if you like trip into something, you also correct.
Right.
You won't rarely fall over.
Right.
Whereas if you have like no sensing, it would be impossible to
That's true.
under a lot of
People have prosthetics, and also like I love, the whole new way of thinking too is that it doesn't have to look like a leg.
Right.
Right. And that's cool.
Yeah, it's really gross looking when it looks like a leg.
It's uncanny.
So when they have some that they make realistic, it depends on the person too. I mean,
I saw, I don't know, that amputee porn I saw.
Why?
They're taking off the leg and you're like, and I was like, oh god. So that's made me totally be like, I want things not to look like an actual leg.
I don't think they're doing that, working on that.
That's good. I like to see it. Yeah.
What I like, did you see Matthew Barney? Do you know the artist Matthew Barney?
Yeah.
I mean, he did a lot of things with prosthetics. But
Right,
I think
right.
the same model that's in that photo.
You think that?
So I remember seeing that was probably like 2003 or 4 when he had like the big exhibition in the Guggenheim.
Yes, it was the Creme Master cycle.
Yeah. So
And then they had all the prosthetics. I think that's great. Like, if you're going to get a fake leg, you might as well get one that looks like a cheetah, or something else, or an antelope.
You mean, you have a whole world of possibilities.
You can have any leg.
Any leg?
You can have legs that don't exist yet.
There you go.
So that's been
I'd like a wheel, I think.
this controversy. So for instance,
Or like a weeble.
this model is actually an athlete, and I think she competes with these legs. There's like right now this ongoing controversy whether should that still be sort of I always mix this up. So it's not Special Olympics. There's a different thing, but
Augmented Olympics.
but what do you call
Paralympics.
Paralympics, there you go.
It's like Special Olympics. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So I think there's this paradox where these athletes that are missing a limb are very close to the performance of people with real limbs.
Right.
And the divide of, should they be allowed to compete, although they have clearly an external, you're using some technology, right?
I think it's like even you were saying, that's the whole thing about people not trusting androids and that kind of thing. Like, it would turn into that, where they're like, well, it's not exactly feet, so some people would see it as an advantage or something like that. How could you know?
Well,
See it becoming like that in the future,
well, augmented limbs don't produce lactic acid or whatever that thing is that makes. Yeah.
1,000 years from now.
So this was also the new building.
Okay.
It's also this whole old building.
Cool.
I'll just show you like
Yeah.
a quick, just this part.
Do you keep your own mugs, or should I put this down at some point?
I do. Are you done? You can just,
I'll
you
hold
can just put it there.
No, I'll hold it till it goes back on. I don't want you to lose your mug.
Smugs everywhere in this building.
Oh, that's a joy. That's a buzz killer.
Why?
Because you can't play more than one shot.
What?
Like if you're playing a game and the net is closed like that, how are you gonna?
I think that's just like for demo purposes. But I think this was used for like a slam dunk contest.
That's fun. Very cool.
Wow,
nerve
There's like strain sensors that are sitting up here. So it's actually just measuring tension. And
You're using a little one laptop per child.
yeah. So
How's this? Do you like? Have you used it?
no, I'm not a child.
Oh, I know.
Just kidding.
But it's interesting because what I was told with these things is like the idea was great, but the kids never wanted to give them up because the kids were like looking at all this porn and stuff when they would give it to kids, in developing nations, they would all not use it solely for educational purposes. They'd use it for like porn and stuff. And there's like all these pictures of like kids like looking at porn. And
Really?
stuff. Yeah, because that's what I was told, which is really interesting about it. It's like the other side. Yeah, you give kids access to internet. What are they gonna do?
Oh, that's depressing.
I found out about-
What's this? This is kind of depressing.
I have no idea what this is actually.
Pretty cool.
It looks.
I always freak out when I come around this corner and I see this. I always come like this and I'm like,
Well, it's probably just art. I believe so.
Because it looks like victims of war or something, or poverty. Just it's the one with the bandaged head, especially.
I love Nerd Boy.
This is that is a scary thing. I don't know this.
So this, obviously, this is a bit more older projects. You might be interested in this. So the Bar of Soap is a concept where you're exploring what if your device could actually understand how you're grasping it. So based on different grasps, it takes different types of functionality.
Right.
So he holds like this, and it's a gamepad. He holds like that, and let's see, it was like a remote
With a phone.
So it's just a bunch of like capacitive sensors around it to detect
Yeah.
and then doing some sample classification.
Well, I think that's where we're going. I think eventually you're just going to have, we were talking on the way here about like road signs and saying can they be designed better, and I was telling John that I think it's not that they would be designed better. Eventually you'll have the windscreen of your car will just be good GPS, and the road signs will just show up in a more ergonomic fashion right off in your. You don't even need to have them physically on the road at a certain point.
No, absolutely. And I mean, why should often when I drive, I'm like, oh, what was it?
Yeah.
What was the speed doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why should you have to wait?
Exactly.
So my work previously, before coming here, I did a lot of things with augmented reality, which was really this. So the capability of bringing in computer graphics in an intuitive sort of interface for you, which is the field of view.
Right.
And I usually actually often use the windshield example. So rather, why should you look down on your?
I'm getting tired of holding
Getting
it.
tired of holding it?
I'm getting tired of
Well, that's
holding
your
it.
job.
We could have
Especially
dropped
with
this off
my
in the office
camera.
also.
Yeah, we could have dropped it off.
My camera arm too. It's like double strain on this.
You need something in your glasses.
I do. I need this. I need it on my head.
There you go.
And then just.
You can find a cap. Yeah, I mean, like so. While I look at the GPS and sort of lose the time and lose my attention, and then try to map the things that are in 2D to your 3D world. It's like superimpose.
Yeah.
So we did some projects based on. We developed a transparent 3D display that we used for an industrial setting. I'll show something on that. So this is the same guy who did the synth. Also made like these expressive footwear. So as you would dance,
Just like a teenage engineer did now.
yeah,
because they have that the different.
the poke, the tap.
Have you used that?
No.
It doesn't seem like this in his office too.
We'll be back.
I don't mind, honestly.
We're close.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Nothing here? Oh, that sounds secretive.
I want to explore the secret area.
No, it's scary.
Nothing to see, nothing to see.
Nothing to see here.
This group, unfortunately, the former director, Steve Benton, he passed away, but he was really trying to advance real-time holography, and they sort of carry on the same theme. So they have, actually the original prototype is in here. Sometimes it's
Is it just like a sheet of different?
No, so this is like really generating the wavefront.
Oh, really?
So the real way of, I mean, the way we see things, the way light is being shown is not just like a pixel on the screen, but it's really about if you wanted to have like a volume where you needed to have light originate from each point. That's like a true 3D display. No matter where you look from, there will be light emanating.
Yeah.
So the way to do that with holography is to generate the wavefront of light. And it's computationally extremely expensive, and sort of the optics have not been fine enough in terms of pixel pitch, but we're really getting there. So there's like a couple of companies, one actually just across the street, again, like the beauty of being in Cambridge, that are now have like a very small.
But can I give you my prediction of what's going to displace that industry before it becomes viable?
Sure.
Is that I think they'll figure out a way to stimulate the visual centers of the brain with less energy
Right.
than to create the light so that everyone's experiencing
Yeah.
the hologram.
But it's always about, even if you can send an image to the brain, or directly to the retina, which has been done actually. You still need to. I mean, how do you generate the right perspective as you move
Oh,
around?
no, yeah, that's
you
true.
need to track users.
Yeah.
So even with like Google Glasses, this idea that I put on a pair of glasses and the displays are so small. The second part of that challenge is, how do I track and create the proper perspective,
Right.
and in a smooth fashion, because we're not talking anymore about 30 or 60 frames per second, but you want this to run at like 1,000 frames per second, so that's really smooth, and that's very difficult with today's sensors.
Well, can't we only recognize up to like 30 frames per second anyway, and then the rest just becomes blur?
So it's actually a little higher, but maybe 60. So that's the transitions that you can sense. But if you move, I don't know if you've seen like any recent 3D movie.
Yeah. We just saw Prometheus.
Prometheus.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw it as well.
Yeah.
So you could, I don't know if you noticed, like scenes where there's like a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like it's out of sync.
A little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
And if you move your head, that will give you more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's standing still is fine, you're saying, but when you actually move quickly, it's problematic.
Yeah.
A lot of nice speakers here. Just picked up, I think these ones went black. Super good.
Yeah.
I love them.
What are they?
Okay, stadium ones. Really nice. I haven't seen the red one though.
Rockets.
The little rockets. They're fucking awesome. This is cool.
So this group is about. So it's called personal Rolex, and as you can imagine, they want to personalize robots. Has been everything about, can you make them more expressive? What sort of, how do you make robots more humane?
Yeah.
And so both for kids, this setup back there is actually sort of like a test ground where they bring in kids and see how they interact with these robots, and how can you actually make them feel like this is not a synthetic character, it's actually a human.
I've seen the Furbies, the Furby type things.
Right.
Reminds me back when I was a kid. I used to love that thing. It's great. Really amazing how fast it looks. The arms. Very, very cool. Wow. This guy's cool.
This obviously more futuristic, so the dashboard over there is sort of applying the same concept to sort of in-vehicle driving systems. So if you're driving, and what if you had like a character that go, hey, you're driving a little bit fast right now, why don't you chill?
So like a Clippy for driving?
Maybe, but maybe a little bit better.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Looks like you're
Looks like you're trying to escape the police. You want help with that?
Cool.
Yeah.
It's great.
So the things you see back if you want to get the poster
Well, yeah.
Ooh, a rainbow.
speaking of, there is one group, there is nothing to see. It's called synthetic neurobiology. And no one, they're like super secret. So they have like their own access cars and everything.
Oh wow.
So they do a lot of experiments on actual animals.
Oh, so that's why they don't want to.
Oh.
Yeah, so one thing that they do, I think, is basically having these mice that are mutated. That are, the brain is like light sensitive, so you can sort of control the behavior by inducing light.
That does not sound ethical.
I think it's fine.
It's debatable.
It's pretty cool though.
But thanks. Yeah, so you can just leave your stuff here. Maybe.
Oh, it's 10%.
That's done. All right.
Yeah.
An old man, you know. You got rest of legs. No comment.
Thank you.
No, I'm fine on the floor.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Sure, okay. You got floor sitter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
I am comfortable on the floor.
Yeah, tell us what you're doing while we're sitting.
Yeah.
You have a shaky hand.
What?
You have a shaky hand.
Yeah.
The trigger grip.
Are you doing
What's the trigger grip?
on the film?
I still have 100 minutes left,
Okay.
but my battery's running quite low.
Did you bring your Charge with you?
Not with me, no. I mean, I have a USB charger that I can plug into my computer, but I don't have my computer or that charger with me.
You want a pistol grip?
What the? Ooh.
Pistol grip.
Oh, that looks fancy.
Pretty fun, right?
What is it called?
Pistol grip. But it's not weighted well, so it depends. Sometimes you can hold it better, but
I'm doing it.
to put a nice weight on the bottom.
Turn it off for a
makes it
sec.
really
You're not filming,
smooth.
right?
I am
It's
filming.
real
Okay, turn it
lightweight,
off,
so
okay.
it's not